Ah, so I guess that's one of my new things. I'm gonna rub my hands together. Oh, I didn't expect that. Got to make sure. Okay, people, we had a couple of technical difficulties getting the pregame show started, but that's okay. During the COVID era, we're gonna always have, you're gonna have a couple little awkward starts. Unofficial. I guess today is gonna be an unofficial. For those who don't know, Mark Ennis's show is on air right now. 4:00 start, 3:00 show. That's why it's not a full official, radio version of the pregame show. I did send a couple of invites. I know. Trey Vols, 94, 100% most wonderful time of the year. I am way, way too excited. I tried to make myself take a 45-minute nap just to like reset my brain cells. I was up so early this morning. I didn't want to like conk out in the middle of the game, and not that I was really going to conk out, but you get the point. So here's the thing. I did a pregame show full of a bunch of notes. I don't really want to use them. Starting off the season, I want to go into the season with a clear mental state, watching the games. Because here's the thing. I've been watching Evansville. I went through their roster. I went over what they had last year. I went over the kind of offense they had, compared to what kind of defense we played. I did a whole ton of overthinking watching the game. I'm telling you, like I said, I was looking at Evansville backdoor plays. I was looking at but I started to realize all the players that I'm watching on Evans, well, not all of them, but a big portion of Evansville players that I'm watching are a different team. And then I'm watching our team towards the end of the year. I'm trying to find positions where I'm trying to find I need to see David and Sam getting 20 points a game each. Jonathan, we had the segment, the buy or sell segment, and I hate to tell you that I did sell my Sam Williamson stock for the first couple of weeks coming out of those injuries. I don't think Coach Mack puts the foot on the gas when it comes to injuries. So, and if it's kind of like a chronic knee thing or something, I think Sam has the ability to like push himself when he wants to and not push himself, which is it's tough to give that kind of Sam's background. It's tough to just turn him into a dog eat dog situation. And again, all these critiques are critiques, not criticisms of these players. I know they're doing the best they can with what they know. So it's not really like criticism. I'm not like being harsh on them. But watching all the games and watching old games and watching segments where players, play this. But this is an entirely new team. David Johnson playing with seniors is an entirely different David Johnson than what he's going to be out there playing today. Courtney Jones, his playing against the players in practice with his confidence level and his knack for scoring is going to be an entirely different world of competition. Guys have one shot. Evansville team is going to have one shot at you almost for the rest of their lives. I don't know how the crowd is going to affect the players, knowing that we're doing a pregame, I had to like just break it down to only the things I could absolutely like be for certain. So this is what I'm gonna do. Hold on. That's funny. No, Antron, I'll let the pregame. I'm gonna let the pregame South Carolina part of it. I'm gonna let that totally take care of itself. But that's funny. I may do a live watch. So if you're here, that's funny. So if you're here, I do want you, especially if you're watching on the YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, so you'll be alerted every time we go game watch. I might see if I can get Steve. I'm not sure if he's doing the post game from home, but I'm gonna try to get him to do the post-game show and put it on the YouTube channel, because we always have a good time with that, especially if you get a good win. So there's that. Here's what I wanted to do. A couple of things that I want to go for the University of Louisville pregame show, the things that I would love to see, the things that I would hate to see, the things that I'm going to be looking for in this game, the things I want you to watch for. I take pride in doing the pregame shows because I am a told you so guy. I am a guy who likes to say, I told you look for these things. I told you. Okay, so first what I want to do, I want to bring up the starting lineup for the probable starting lineup. Sorry, Brand, there it goes. Okay, I had it earlier. Thought you were late. Let me get that off the page really quick. Hide. Brand, let's go. Okay, possible starting lineups. Forward, center. Quinn, Dray Davis, Jalen Withers, Courtney Jones, David Johnson. Listen, for the lineup that we can almost be certain we know what you're going to get out of the offensive end. We know probably the highest IQ players on that. Carleek, David, and Quinn. Those are your IQ guys. David Johnson, like I said, I don't have to describe much of what David Johnson brings to the table. I am going to be looking at David Johnson's pace. Coach Mack seems to really hate when David Johnson gets into I'm going too fast for the rest of the players. He likes him to pace himself. Coach Mack's style is a lot more under control, a lot more deliberate style. So sometimes I think David's strong, David's quick. I think there's a matching up of styles that David Johnson and Coach Mack are going through. Like they're still just trying to find a happy medium. So IQ, sees the floor, any court, any competition. David Johnson is the kind of guy I can trust out there. Courtney Jones, he's an adult. He's an adult. The positive and negative that goes with Courtney Jones. I don't know how good he is at drawing fouls. I will be watching, because here's the thing. Coach Mack does not play a high pressure defense, on the ball defense around the court, right? Let's see how Courtney Jones is going to handle a little bit of a tighter defensive pressure. You don't really see that in practice. I thought that was the thing that kind of caught up with us last year. We weren't used to seeing on the ball pressure in a big way. I don't see Evansville adding much pressure, but they're going to probably have more pressure on the ball than Carleek has seen all the preseason. Because you notice, like when you watch all the highlights, and not all of them, but a big ton of the highlights that come off the videos that they release, it's a lot of half court. It's a lot of tough, grinded out highlights. You can see guys just trying to score each other in half court situations. So like I said, I don't want to read too far into that, but high pressure, full court transition. I'm going to bring up that transition conversation a little later on in the video when I kind of get into the team aspect of it over the individual player. David Johnson, Courtney Jones, Quinn Sislinski. There's the natural joke that you say, Quinn Sislinski, I don't want to give the stereotypical tough, heady passer things, but he kind of fits the mold. Outside of the fact that everybody says he runs his mouth nonstop. Now, if you know that, or if you hear that, or if that's the report that Quinn Sislinski is a talker, I want you to pay attention to if he brings that to the court, because it's very easy. It's something different to talk about or to talk to teammates, because you have a comfort with teammates. You know you can get away with it when you can get away with it when you have to buckle up, against your teammates. You get comfortable, and like walk-ons or run their mouth in practice if they're having fun. But is Quinn Sislinski gonna bring that energy, that swag, that gravitas that Coach Mack talks about, or Luke Hancock talks about? Is he gonna bring that to opponents that don't know him? Is he ready to get into an environment to try to quote unquote punk somebody else that he has no idea? He doesn't know if a guy's gonna undercut them or punch them in the face like that. There's a difference between respectful practice players and running your mouth and taking that into a different environment. Quincey Zelinski, keep your eye on him to see if he's a talker, to see if he's, both a talker on the Louisville side of things and a talker on the offensive side of things. Offensive, like offend. Are you willing to offend an Evansville player with your talking? Are you going to get your team excited by talking to other players? Like those things I am curious to see. Of course, you got Dray Davis. You have Dray Davis. He's going to be your traditional just get it done guy. Dray Davis right now is the closest thing to the Dwayne Sutton replacement. Your description of Dray Davis, Dwayne Sutton replacement, high IQ. It's a high, in the nicest way possible. Dray Davis has a high old school basketball IQ, an old 6'5" guard that can play the post because, you could tell in high school he played multiple positions, plays the post, he moves his feet, he has fundamentals in a lot of positions. You could tell he knows how to get fouled underneath the basket. Look for some flexing out of Dray Davis, no matter what the crowd is. I know he brings that thing. X factor situation, Jalen Withers. He is going to be matched up against a veteran. Be careful, Jalen Withers. Do not get in foul trouble early. Young redshirt freshman Jalen Withers will be facing a veteran in this game. It is one of those things where you have to be careful not to get frustrated. Don't be surprised if you see Jalen Withers going from guarding their big man to Quincey Zelinski guarding their big man. I think the center spot is going to be interchangeable between Jalen Withers and Quincey Zelinski. See who can stay on the ground. See who can chest up, arms in the air without fouling, force missed shots, force, fadeaways over challenging shots. Look for Jalen Withers to be athletic. I hope that Jalen Withers is forcing the issue on the offensive end, forcing them to identify him as an athlete, as a better player. You're going to learn a lot about his aggression level. You can kind of give a pass for a few jitters, but not much because these guys are sophomores, even though they are kind of inexperienced. So with the lineup, you go 3 high IQ, David Johnson, Courtney Jones, Quincey Zelinski, and then you have X factors of athleticism, which is Dray Davis and Jalen Withers. Like I said, the Jalen Withers experiment part of it, I will be paying close attention to. Quincey Zelinski, his demeanor towards opponents, I will be paying attention to. He should be tough. He should bring the fight a little bit. Carleek, let's see how he does. Confidence level, opponent level. You would think he would treat an Evansville like he's played against before, but you never know. Again, your game in practice, a lot of half court stuff, a lot of grinded out stuff. Let's see if that stuff translates. Okay, with the Evansville roster, first thing that always jumped off the page for me is the size. You only have one guy that's under 6'4", in Shamar Givens. Again, you start a Jax Levitch. Levitch, he has to be high IQ at the very least. Jax Levitch, his numbers, they don't scare you. IQ scares you. Senior scares you. Grad transfer scares you. 6'8" senior. 6'9" freshman Trey Hall. 7 rebounds a game. That's a guy who goes to get it. 6'4" Noah Frederick, Illinois. Again, this is a new collection of guys for this Evansville team. The coach has had as much of an off season as you can get. Remember, this is Antoine. Antoine Walker. Walter McCarty's team. He was removed from the coaching staff. These guys, you have to remember, anybody that doesn't say freshman by their name was in Rupp Arena when they beat Kentucky, who was number 1. If those aren't enough to get your attention, I don't know what will, especially in basketball, especially when you got new guys, especially when you don't have a Yum Center crowd, especially when due to the restrictions, you can't sell concessions. So maybe it's going to be a few angry fans up in the Yum Center, but that's neither here nor there. I hope that gets taken care of. Ages gets my attention. Graduate, senior, junior, senior, freshman. has my attention if you're Evansville. That is the player part of the package of the pregame show. Now, things to look for when you're talking about the University of Louisville. Again, when you're talking a full new lineup, a new team, new players, a new experience, but we say it's all new, but they're all yours. That's a theme we've talked about on the radio show, Middays with Marcus Mabington. It's 12 every day, Monday through Friday. We talked about the one thing we do say now, that this is your guys. This is untainted in a different college system. This is untouched, untapped potential that Coach Mack has brought himself. Super six, super sophomores. Let's see what they get. I don't know if Josh Nickelberry will be playing. Coach said he's getting closer, but doubtful he'll play. But you still have guys that are all under the Coach Mack tree. Their defensive styles, their defensive stances, their energy level, all the stuff, their toughness levels, all under Coach Mack. The fan base probably won't give the pass of these guys are a little, they're a little, I don't want to say soft, but they're a little passive, like that thing you don't want to see. So if you see any out aggression, Evansville's playing harder, you better see that cleaned up in the first 6 or 7 minutes. Your team should be the more aggressive team out there, no matter what. I don't know about crispness. Again, 6-8 minutes. Maybe you can sharpen up. So, you have to get past the frustrations of the beginning, settle the guys in. You have 2 really high IQ veteran guards, which should make all the difference in most games you play, or that's what you're going to season. If you expect to have a successful season, jitters should not go past 6 minutes with a Courtney Jones, a David Johnson, and so forth. So, aggression level, that's going to be data point number 1. Data point number 2, is the passing improved? There's a couple of guys talked about doing a scrimmage and maybe not shooting as well as they wanted to. Last year, we knew we had a bunch of shooters, but Coach Mack made reference last year to donut basketball. A bunch of guys standing around the outside, just all shooting from the perimeter, but they were really, really good shooters. It was a team full of shooters. I could see how you could fall in love with just a lot of three-point shooting. Now, it's not the kind of team you got. You have guys that can get to the basket or should be able to get to the basket a lot better. Maybe you have a team that could be better offensive rebounding. The other natural athletic positions should be getting a lot more going to the basket. But now, is there an offensive rotation? Or, last year we got to identify a couple of plays. So we saw a couple of sets. It got to a point where we knew the 3 or 4 special sets coming out of timeouts where we could see the play developing. But is there more of a motion offense? They did not get a lot of motion last year. You didn't get a lot of scoring off of consistent motion offense. He kind of liked the offense last year, liked to isolate a side or isolate a right hand, and guys were just kind of going to work. Coach Mack likes guys to kind of get lost into the game, is a phrase he always used. So offense, what does it look like? Does it have some motion? Does it have some fluidity? Have they improved in the movement of the offense, the ball handling? Was it last year not a lot of guys could really handle the ball and get to the basket? Was that just a last year thing, or does Coach Mack have to get guys who can naturally do these things on his own? So I'm going to be looking at the differences between the offense rotation of this year and the offensive rotation of or movement of the ball from last year to this year. That's aggression, offensive movement, transition. Do you get out? Does everybody get 2 lanes? What is the transition? Are you going to want to push the tempo? Is your conditioning going to be where it needs to be? Again, I give passes to jitter conditioning because a lot of times guys will be in great shape. Let me pull that off the screen. Guys will be in very, very good to great shape, but a lot of times you can't tell if they're in really, I don't want to say horse condition shape, but what's your condition level in this game? Can you outrun somebody? Can you last? Are guys, have the guys fell in love with the weight room so much that their legs aren't in shape? These are critiques that always go on in college basketball programs. I'm going to be looking for toughness. B, offensive execution. C, I'm going to be looking for conditioning. Open floor conditioning is kind of mixed with transition. We were not a good transition team. We did not take advantage of turnovers in transition. I don't know if he's slowed it down because of the turnovers, things like that. I want to see one leg done. So see people get down transition, being able to communicate with each other, get some alley-oops. I'm going to be looking for transition. And number 4 is on the defensive end. Is it full pack line? Is it full pack line? Can you stop people? Evansville is going to be heavy motion. Pack line pushes them out, but it makes them susceptible to giving up 3-pointers. Good shooting teams, good confident shooting teams, good motion teams, they can get you off balance. So we're going to be watching this. We're going to be watching to see if Jalen Withers can stay in front of his man, can close out the right way. Is J.J. Traynor going to get some minutes? Is Aiden Gahan going to show? I think we'll be able to see early if Aiden Gahan is even going to get a fair chance to affect this team. Coach has some comments on him. Didn't seem the happiest with Aiden Gahan, but I definitely will be thinking about that. Number 5, leadership. Go-to guy. Who's going to be the guy? Now, the easy answer is Courtney Jones. That's the easy one, but I think there should be somebody else. I think there should be somebody who's not a grad transfer, should look more like a go-to guy as well. Courtney Jones should not just be commanding all aspects of the team. Again, sometimes you have to have like an explosive guy. I don't know how explosive Courtney Jones is really. Again, it's not like, he's not really tight muscle, things like that. I'm going to want to see a guy who can physically be the man. Courtney Jones might be the guy with the most game, might be the guard who just moves the best and things like that. But who's going to be the guy who can physically take over the game, not just be the best player because they're the most skilled? So those are the things I am going to be looking for out of this game. Again, immediately following the game, Steve Rummage on 93.9 will be doing the post game. I may do some game watch since it's ACC network. I may, like I said, I may just clean up a little bit. But here's the thing: since there wasn't any commercial break, you can share the video. Made for the Ville is the YouTube channel. Listen, every cash out at Maven939. Listen, if you like these, we can keep doing it. If you like the StreamYard, any donation goes to paying for everything we do. And I appreciate it. The donations I got last night will help keep the channel rolling really good. So enjoy. Subscribe to Made for the Ville. Click the like button. Donate with the super chat. Donate to the cash app. Maven939. Enjoy it. And come on, fellas. Let's go. I can't believe we finally made it to the basketball season. I was worried about it. I'm looking forward to a good performance. See you either during the game, post game.